Trying. Hello. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? For fuck's sake. Are you fucking kidding me? One, two, three, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yeah. We have sound. Oh, this is fun. And no glitching. Okay. No glitching. I don't have any. Okay, over here, I have no overlaps. I have no. Yeah. All right, folks. Without the glitch, this is a new hearing in the Michigan Hyperbaric explosion case, where a 5-year-old was in in treatment for ADD and sleep apnea because hyperbaric chambers are not regulated at all. And they can claim anything from curing your autism to penis enlargement to I don't know. It's just a big freak scam, in my opinion. Okay, folks, good to have you here. Let's see here. Okay, and for some reason X doesn't show how many is watching at the moment. I don't know. Oh, it's not available for X. Okay. So there's a handful of you on Rumble. There's a bunch of you on YouTube. Good to have you all here. What we are about to hear now is a former employee of the Oxford Center of Hyperbaric Chamber. And it's a bit of a warning here because her testimony, according to what I've heard, was very, very strong. And okay, apparently, yeah, I'm just checking out for. They have new things here on Rumble. Oh, look at that! I have an open overlap. Add overlay. Let's see here. Show. Oh, it went up there. Can I change where the live chat is? Of course not. Oh well, I will try to have that done until another time. Remove. All right, folks. We're 6 minutes in, and yeah, let's just. Yeah, Kestrel. Yeah, I wish more people covered this too, but there are bigger money makers out there. That's the thing. When I heard about this back in June, I believe. I mean, it just happened back in March. And so now, okay, let's go right into this hearing.
When you're seated, please turn and face me and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I think you have a seat.
May I? Thank you. Good morning. Could you tell us your name, please?
My name is Tiffany Hosey.
Could you spell that for me, please?
Tiffanyhosey.
Let's talk about your education and your background. How far did you go in school?
I have a bachelor's degree in health science.
Beyond the bachelor's degree in health science, do you hold any certifications?
I hold certifications for hyperbaric technologist and a hyperbaric wound specialist.
When did you first receive your hyperbaric certification?
The first one was 2007, and then I added the wound specialist in 2010.
Besides those certifications, have you done any work as a surveyor?
Yes.
What does that mean to be a surveyor?
So for the surveying, there's a facility accreditation surveying process where a doctor, a nurse, and a technician travel to different centers that have hyperbaric centers or hyperbaric chambers and just make sure that they're following all the safety protocols and policies and procedures.
Is there a specific organization that oversees that surveying?
I do that through the UHMS, or the Undersea Hyperbaric Medical Society.
How long have you worked as a surveyor for UHMS?
Almost 3 years.
Does it require specialized training in order to work as a surveyor?
Yes.
In terms of working as a hyperbarics tech, does that require specialized training?
Yes.
Approximately how much training?
Not an MD, not anything of the sort. It's, folks, these are self-certified. So the business of hyperbaric chambers certifies their own. There's no outside certification, to my knowledge. It's kind of like what's the closest chimney sweepers certifying their own. Yeah, it's good for if you're if you're not treating humans, but if you're actually treating humans, there should be a separate certification. Am I wrong?
And then in terms of the wound specialist, would that be similar, a 2-year process?
Similar, yes.
Have you maintained your certification in hyperbarics continuously since 2007?
Yes.
What year did you graduate from with your bachelor's in health science?
2004.
After you graduated in 2004, did you begin working in hyperbarics?
Shortly after, I did some massage therapy at a chiropractic office before that, but I started doing hyperbarics in July of 2006.
Have you worked continuously in hyperbarics since January of 2006?
I have.
In order to work in this field, do you continue to receive training or certifications?
I do, and continuing education credits in order to maintain my certification.
Besides taking classes on your own, do you also teach classes?
I do.
Tell me about that.
I teach courses through the Wound Care Education Partners. I create course content for continuing education, and I also just finished like a business of wound care and hyperbaric medicine.
You're not an
you don't
MD.
need to tell me where you work, but are you working?
For the purpose of a testimony, in this case, how they should have done everything, sure. But she claims to, what was the words here? Hyperbaric medicine, wound care and hyperbaric medicine. If your background is not as a medical doctor, then fuck the fuck off. It's Jesus. Now, for the purpose of this hearing, what they should and shouldn't do with a hyperbaric chamber, sure. But seriously, what the fuck? Now, I'm not a huge fan of government over-regulations and overreach, but when it comes to medicine, there should be governmental guidelines. A government... Sorry. At least, but this is completely separate from any medical field. And still, they certify themselves in wound care and hyperbaric medicine. Oh.
You don't need to tell me where you work, but are you working in the field of hyperbarics?
I am.
And do you believe in the medical value of hyperbarics?
Absolutely.
At some point in time, did you begin work or employment with the Oxford Center?
I did.
Tell us about that.
I knew Tammy and Jeff previously before the Oxford Center. Had a very close relationship with them. I worked for a hospital.
Let me stop you there.
Okay.
You said that you knew Tammy. Is that right?
I did.
Do you see Tammy here in court today?
You're now stipulate to identification.
Thank you.
I do.
No, babe.
Thank you.
Stipulated to, so you don't have to
Okay.
identify her in court.
You also indicated that you have known Jeff.
Yes.
Does Jeff have a last name?
Mosteller.
Do you see him here in the courtroom?
I
I'll
do.
stipulate to the identification. Very well.
When did you first meet Ms. Peterson?
I met her, it's probably 2006 or 2007 when her daughter was being treated at our facility at Detroit Receiving Hospital.
And were you working at Detroit Receiving Hospital at that time?
Yes.
Were you working with hyperbarics?
Yes.
And you said that her daughter was a patient of where you worked.
Yeah.
You also indicated that you knew Jeff Mosteller for a number of years.
Yeah.
How did you meet him?
He was my program director at Detroit Receiving Hospital.
Do you know approximately what year you would have met him?
I believe he started there in 2008, maybe.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay. I'm not exactly sure what date when he started, but I was there when he came.
Got it. You indicated that you maintained a relationship with both Mr. Mosteller and Ms. Peterson even after the care of Ms. Peterson's daughter ended.
Yes.
Fast forward now to a number of years later, how is it that you came to be employed at the Oxford Center?
I reached out to maybe both of them when I was looking for a way to get out of the hospital-based hyperbaric medicine. And I was offered a position as their assistant research director, or research assistant was the initial title.
Do you remember what year that would have been?
That would have been the fall of 2020.
Was there a reason why you were looking to get out of the hospital setting in fall of 2020?
The hospital system was going to be mandating some vaccines, and it was just a little bit of a scary time to work in the hospital system.
You're talking about COVID and things of that
Yeah.
nature? Right. So when did you start to work at the Brighton Center? Was it fall of 2020?
Fall of 2020, September.
You indicated that you were a research assistant. Is that a yes?
Yes,
In what field were you researching?
hyperbaric medicine.
What were the nature of your job duties at the Oxford Center?
A lot of literature review, a lot of meetings with the research director and Tammy, just sort of getting IRB protocols together.
I'm sorry, what are IRBs?
It's like an institutional review board who will go over, make sure that your research is sound and safe.
Were you working on patients or were doing research for patients that were actually at the Oxford Center?
We are working to work towards that. We did a retrospective study to start.
Looking back at patient charts and things of that nature? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Talk to me about the structure of management at the Oxford Center.
Tammy is the CEO. Gary was the
I would
second.
object just if we can get a time frame that she's speaking of as it relates to this structure.
Okay, do you have a response?
I think she said she started to work there in fall of 2020. So
Okay.
from fall of 2020 moving forward.
Okay.
So it's not as it relates to 2024 January, I would object to the relevance.
Okay. Can I just seek some additional clarification about when the information that she's testifying to regarding the organizational structure became known to her?
Sure.
And if it continued or if it had any changes that were made to it?
Sure. When you began working there in the fall of 2020, you indicated that Tamla Peterson was the CEO.
Correct.
And we're talking about the Oxford Center in Brighton.
Yes.
And at that time, was there also a center in Troy?
Yes.
And were you aware of that center?
Yes.
Did Ms. Peterson own both of those facilities?
Yes.
And did she act as the CEO for both of those facilities?
Yes.
Did there ever come a point in time when she was not the CEO?
No.
So as far as you know, the entire time that you worked there, she was the CEO for both the Oxford Center in Brighton and the one in Troy.
Yes.
To the leading nature of the questions.
Okay.
I also object again to the relevance. I don't know how 2020 means anything to this incident, why we're here today.
All right. So as to relevance, I think her statement was that it continued as far as she knows until present time. So I'm going to overrule that objection, leaving the law sustained. So could you rephrase the question?
Your Honor, if I may, she didn't say that that's where it was to present time. She said that that's where it was through her term of employment. Those are two different dates.
Oh, I'm sorry. Could you please actually clarify that before I decide what I'll actually do on the relevance issue?
Sure. How long did you work there for?
I was let go in April of 24.
All right. I think that
Waiting for the objection.
This incident, occurred in January of 25.
okay. I'm going to give her just a little bit of leeway here. If it's
Fair enough.
2024 April, I still think it potentially could be relevant, but I'm not quite sure where we're going, and I'll let you continue to ask the question, rephrasing the leading question.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What was Jeff's role at the Oxford Center in Brighton?
Jeff was our safety director.
When you started in fall of 2020, was he there already?
Yes.
When you left in April of 24, was he still there?
Yes.
You said that his title was safety director. What does that mean?
He was in charge of all of the safety protocols, all the staff training, all the maintenance,
You said maintenance. Maintenance of what?
the hyperbaric chambers.
You indicated that there were staff trainings. Is that right?
And he would be responsible for the staff training.
How often would you train as staff?
Rarely.
When you trained as staff, was it only the staff at the Brighton Center?
Yes, I did not work in the Troy Center.
Did you or were you familiar with any of the staff at the Troy Center?
Yes.
How were you aware of them or knew them?
Worked with them, go in, I worked with the neurofeedback, just sort of bouncing ideas off of. It was not a lot of interaction, I would say, but I did know of them.
You indicated that Mosteller was the safety director. Is that right?
Yes.
Were there policies or protocols around the hyperbarics use?
I don't know. I'm sure there were, but I can't recall what exactly they were.
Can you explain that to me? Were there policies?
I know there should be policies, but I can't say I directly looked at a policy.
When you joined the Oxford Center in fall of 2020, were you trained given any additional training on hyperbarics?
Yes, in-person training. My background is primarily multi-place chambers, so monoplace was fairly new to me.
Tell me the difference between a multi-place and a monoplace.
A monoplace chamber is made for one person occupancy. It's filled with 100% oxygen, compared to a multi-place chamber where more than one person goes in at once and they pressurize the chamber with air.
And you indicated that you had more experience in multi-place than you did in monoplace.
Yes.
Where you worked, the Oxford Center, did it have multi-place or monoplace?
The Oxford Center had monoplace chambers.
Exclusively.
Yes.
Do you remember what additional training you received about that monoplace chamber?
Truly just, how to pressurize and depressurize the patients, but not a lot of extra training.
Did you work with patients and hyperbarics?
I did.
Tell me about that.
My primary role was research, but if there were, I need to cover for a lunch or the end of the day, they needed extra hands in that chamber suite, or someone went on vacation, I would help fill in.
During the time that you worked there, did you meet somebody by the name of Gary Markin?
Yes.
Do you see him here in court today?
Typically, Judge, the identification of my client.
All right, noted. For the record, thank you.
How did you know him?
I worked with him at the Oxford Center.
When you began there in fall of 2020, was he there already or did he come after?
He was there.
Hey, Dave. If you could find the paperwork. Let's see here. I'm not sure what this is, if this is a prelim. I do believe it's a preliminary exam. And Tamela is currently under house arrest on a $2 million bond. She tried to have the get it lightened up so she wouldn't be under house arrest back in August, but the judge denied it.
What was his role?
I believe he was the facilities manager or the director of operations. I'm not sure what his title is exactly. He is a right-hand man.
Judge, I would object to the speculation. She says, I believe.
Okay, response?
I'll clarify it.
Thank you.
What types of work did he do there?
Facilities management.
You indicated that, I think these were your words, he was the right-hand man?
Yeah.
What is
September 15, Dave? This here is from September 15. And so I hope it's...
does that mean?
She worked very closely with Tammy. At the end, they had an office that were adjacent to each other. So.
Who ran this facility?
Can we get an identification of what facility?
Sure.
Troy or,
Thank you. I think that's accurate.
Yep.
Thank you.
Who ran the Oxford Center?
That's,
Wait, the
that's
same
still not-
question.
Oh, I'm sorry, the Brighton, in Brighton.
Tammy.
What makes you say that?
Almost every decision went through Tammy. She is the
I'm going to
CEO.
object to the foundation for that answer.
Sure, how do you know that?
Anytime there is an issue or a concern, Tammy was the person you would bring it to.
An issue or concern about what?
It could be anything.
You said it always ran through Tammy.
Always.
In terms of the Oxford Center in Brighton, were there cameras in the building?
Yeah.
Tell me about those.
She worked with lots of nonverbal children, so as a safeguard, there was cameras in almost every room that I knew of. They would record to make sure that the kids are being treated well.
The reason why they are asking about cameras is that one of the allegations as a consciousness of guilt is that Tamela the CEO, almost directly after this happened, ordered people to take cameras down. And allegedly, she also tried to wipe the company laptop. So these are some of the underlying issues here that this former employee is there to testify about.
That there was just some oversight over what was happening in the building.
And how were you able to view those cameras?
If you walked into Tammy's office, you could see them. In the Hyperbaric suite, you could see all the chambers. There's
I just realized the reason for the cameras, as this witness answered, she had a lot of non-verbal patients. Now, that tells me that they were either treating kids who couldn't speak yet, or this is one of these, let's treat this boy's autism or this girl's autism in these hyperbaric chambers. Preying on desperate parents who has autistic children. Because, by the way, hyperbaric chamber treatment is not covered by Medicaid. It's not covered by insurance, because most people agree it has no effect. It has no proven effect. So it was a mill of children in and out of these hyperbaric chambers. And in my opinion, it tells me that the reason why they allegedly tampered with maintenance records and everything is maintenance means a hyperbaric chamber either has to be checked out by an outside technician or it has to be sent away, which means less money made.
cameras above each hyperbaric chamber.
Did the cameras record audio, video, or both?
I believe they did both.
Was there ever a point in time when you were on those videos or audio and had been confronted by Tammy?
About something that she saw in the video?
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Hi, Gigi.
You said that you left in April of 2024, is that right?
Yes.
Tell me about how that happened.
I had expressed some safety concerns about the patients not being grounded in the chamber.
Let me stop you there. You said that you expressed safety concerns about grounding of patients. What does that mean?
Your Honor, I'm going to object because from what I can tell, this witness only worked in Brighton. There's been absolutely no testimony that she's ever even stepped foot into Troy. So I'm not really sure how any of this is relevant to an accident that happened in the Troy location. I didn't even hear a foundation for any knowledge of how the Troy location was run. That has not been established.
Sure, let me back up. You said that you knew the staff at the center in Troy.
Yes.
You mentioned the name Bowen. Who is that?
He was one of the hyperbaric technicians in Troy and one of the neurofeedback technicians as well.
Same sort of work that you were doing.
Yes.
You were doing it in Brighton, he was doing it in Troy.
Yes.
Did you ever attend trainings with Bowen?
Yes.
The trainings that you attended with Bowen, do you remember what they were about?
Mostly neurofeedback. When I started supplementing some of my time in neurofeedback, Bowen was a resource for me because he had been doing it in Troy and he was able to answer some questions.
To your knowledge, were the protocols or the way that things were run in the Brighton Center the same as they were run in the Troy Center?
Your Honor, I object because that's essentially asking for hearsay from this Bowen gentleman who isn't here to testify.
I'd ask her to be allowed to answer that question and then how she knows that.
Yeah, that's ringing the bell, Judge, without, the
Yeah,
backdoor of getting the hearsay in. Does she have firsthand knowledge of observing or seeing? It can't come through another party.
Or ask her first if she only knows by way of conversation with Bowen. But trying to get the answer in first and then backdoor how she knows it, you can't know if it's admissible until you first know if she has firsthand knowledge.
Did you want to respond to that before
I think she can respond to how she knows this.
beyond what could potentially just be hearsay statement?
Sure. I mean, that's what she needs to answer is how she knows it.
And the other issue that I'm considering is the fact that she has testified that she attended trainings that applied to both positions working in separate locations.
Only as it related to neural feedback. We're not talking about this, the germane issue here is about a safety guard. She's trying to give it in a backdoor way. I don't need neural feedback. That's not relevant. She went to a training seminar with this gentleman back, we don't even know when. We don't even have a time frame. The salient point here, Judge, and my objection is simply you're eliciting first hearsay as opposed to asking the proper question, have you observed or seen with your own eyes how?
Ooh, okay. Examination on the 15th and 16th. Okay. And it is to continue on December 1st. But tomorrow, September 30th, there's a bond violation hearing. I have no idea what that is. I have no idea what that is. Now, there are 4 people charged, so it's not necessarily what did Tamina do. It might be one of the others, because we know from prior stream, there was a guy who, who had serious concerns about his home confinement. Is Tammy the one in the black suit jacket? I don't think so.
Something works over in Troy as opposed to getting it from a third party. I can't remember when allowing someone from a third party unless it's a defendant.
I have something to add, Judge.
Yes.
Thank you. She's already testified that she was never working at the Troy Center and didn't have personal knowledge about what happened at the Troy Center. She also testified after a long pause that she participated.
All right. Dave was looking at the Tamina's case file. I have no idea. I want to know. And if it is close, I hope it is live streamed tomorrow. Because then I will cover it.
In a training with Bowen about neurofeedback. She has no personal experience regarding hyperbaric chamber use at the Troy facility, which is why we're all here today. So she's already established she's got no personal knowledge about that.
You just ask her that question then.
I think we should ask for that question.
Okay. Do you have any knowledge about how the hyperbarics were run at the facility in Troy?
It's my understanding that it was the same.
Again, Judge, it's her understanding.
It's speculative answer. It's calling for speculation. She's already established she's never been there.
And it's clearly going to be based on hearsay. There's no other way if she's never been there.
Unless there was some element of training. That's the part that I'm trying to get a better understanding. I know that the defense attorneys have taken the position that she indicated she participated in training only pertaining to an issue that they don't see any overlap with.
Sure.
But if there was training provided to employees that worked in both locations, that included anything related to the machines, how to run them, or the safety, I don't know that that's an appropriate objection to take at this point. I don't want her to testify about something she only knows about because another person told her. So I need to just narrow the issue of how she would come to know about any training protocols in the company.
Sure.
Her testimony was that she received additional training when she came because she was familiar with multi-place and not monoplace. She has not testified that anybody else was present for that training. She hasn't testified that anybody else who worked at Troy was present
So
for that
can we
training.
just, I understand your objection, so I just want to determine if there can be additional information. Ultimately, I don't want to permit a question that she's allowed to answer if the only basis that she has for the information is something that she was told,
Got it.
okay?
Yep.
From another employee at another location, not told in training.
Sure. When you started at the Brighton Center, was Troy already in business?
Yes,
And when you started at the Brighton Center, was there one CEO of
Yeah.
both facilities?
yes.
Who was that?
Tammy Peterson.
Was there one COO of both facilities?
Objection, Judge, she did not say COO.
I think she did say that.
She said, we had the maintenance with regards to the facility.
Bless you.
Okay, so far I did hear a testimony in which she described Mr. Martin as facilities management and Jeff as director of safety. So can we get some clarification on
Sure.
COO, please?
Yep. You said that, well, tell me, what was Gary's title, if you know?
I don't know his actual title. I know he operated as a COO or a facilities manager. To me, they're the same thing.
Objection, Judge, she doesn't know what the Mr. Markin's title was. She just got done saying that. She would have to assume or speculate as it relates to anything else. She says, I did not know his specific title. Anything else is speculation.
Can we agree on facilities management? Yes?
Yes.
And what did that mean?
That means if a light needed to be fixed or something needed to be installed, Gary was the person that you went to.
To your knowledge, was there one facilities manager for Brighton and a separate one for Troy?
I don't know.
In terms of Mr. Mosteller, you told us that he was the safety director at Brighton. Is that right?
Yes.
Was he the safety director only at Brighton?
No.
Where else was he the safety director?
He was the safety director in Troy.
As the safety director, what did he do that you saw?
He was in charge of all of the safety over both centers. He was clearing the hyperbaric patients through a Teams chat. He was teaching safety director courses and introductory hyperbaric courses along with myself.
Let me stop you there. You said that he was responsible for all of the safety.
Yes,
Was that all of the safety related to hyperbarics?
yes.
What does that mean?
And he would be responsible for all the training of the staff, all of the safety protocols.
Your Honor, I object again, because I don't know how she can testify as to what he did in Troy when she's never been here.
The testimony was that he had this role and it applied to both locations.
How does she know that?
Those seem like great questions for cross-exam.
I think before a witness can testify, a foundation has to be laid. We don't wait till cross to lay a foundation for a witness's personal knowledge. I'm fairly confident that this witness has never stepped foot in Troy.
Well, I understand that's the position. I'm not sure that that in and of itself would prohibit her from testifying about anything that she believes applied to both of these locations. But I want to make sure that there is a very clear foundation because the objection seems to continue here. So if she could please explain to the best of her ability her own personal knowledge as to how these employees that she's identified worked in both locations.
How did you know he worked in both locations?
I have been to Troy. I had visited there. We did some research there. I know that when one protocol was put in place, that it would have been in both locations.
How do you know that?
When it comes to patient grounding, when I brought it up, it was the same practice in both places.
You said that he was also in charge of training of staff.
Mhm.
Is that a yes?
Yes,
Would that be staff at both Brighton and Troy?
yes,
You indicated that he did some teaching. Is that right?
yes,
Did you ever do that teaching with him?
I did.
And did that include staff at both Brighton and at Troy?
It was outside students. It wasn't as our employees that were being trained. It was, people from other centers, other organizations.
You talked about one protocol being implemented in both Troy and Brighton. How did you know that?
When I questioned the protocol,
Wait, let me stop you there. Questioned who?
Jeff and Tammy.
When you questioned Jeff, was he by himself?
It was over the phone and in person, in email and in Teams chats.
All right, you said that you had, would it be more than one conversation then with Jeff?
Yes,
And you said that you had communications with him over the phone,
yes,
through email,
yes,
through a Teams chat?
yes.
Teams chat is sort of like a direct messaging type app on the
Yes.
computer and in person.
Yes.
Was there a specific, strike that, how often would you communicate with him on a day-to-day basis?
Maybe 4 times, 5 times a week, depending on if I was in the hyperbaric suite or not.
If you were in the hyperbaric suite, would you speak to him more frequently or less frequently?
More frequently.
Why would that be?
Jeff was responsible for clearing the patients prior to going inside the chamber for the first time.
What does that mean to clear the patients?
There are some contraindications to hyperbaric oxygen therapy, and before a new patient would begin treatment, they would have to get medical clearance to make sure they didn't have any of the contraindications.
To your knowledge, was Mr. Mosteller a doctor?
He's not a doctor.
In order to receive hyperbaric treatment, do you have to have a medical prescription?
Mainstream hyperbaric, yes.
Are there times when it is acceptable to not have a doctor prescribe hyperbarics?
In my opinion, or
Judge, I
by
object to the
law.
opinion.
Well, to her knowledge.
To my knowledge, yes, there should be a physician in supervision of every treatment.
Objective, the answer is non-responsive. She was asked, is it acceptable to have a hyperbaric treatment without a prescription? In her experience, she's not an expert to offer an opinion, and there's no basis for her opinion. She's asking what she saw, heard, seen.
She's worked in hyperbaric since I think she told us 2000, at least 6, if not 3, and has continuously worked in that field since. I think she, in her experience, could tell us whether or not hyperbarics are supposed to be done under a prescription.
Supposed to be those are speculative questions.
No.
The appropriate question would be, what is it allowed without a prescription? Or is there a law to keep you from doing it without a prescription? What is the law around it? Asking her opinion about it is not relevant. Her opinion, she's not an expert.
I don't think I asked her opinion. I asked her in her experience if a doctor is required.
I hate to rise to this objection, but the objection, actually it's a caveat. If the witness is now testifying that it's her opinion that you have to have a prescription to give this treatment, and she then in turn failed to give a prescription, and yet did give the treatment, she has some Fifth Amendment rights here. She has some issues here that I think might truncate her testimony.
So I think the actual wording of the question was it acceptable? And in this case, it does appear as though it could be seeking speculation or opinion. I understand she has experience. If she knows whether or not either a prescription or treatment without a prescription is something that can be done or has been done in her experience, that would be appropriate. But I think when we start asking her about acceptable or legal, we probably want to make sure that she is advised of her Fifth Amendment
Sure.
rights.
I'll withdraw the question.
Okay, and I'm going to strike the question and the answer as it was placed on the record.
When you worked at DRH with hyperbarics, was there always a prescription for hyperbaric treatment?
Yes.
When you worked at the Oxford Center in Brighton, was there always a prescription?
I don't know.
Was it your responsibility to get a prescription or to ensure that there was one?
No.
Who did that piece of it, if that happened at all?
I don't know who is responsible for that.
You indicated that it was Jeff's responsibility or something that he at least did in terms of clearing patients. Is that right?
Yes.
And is that clearing them so that they are medically sound?
Yes, it was a medical clearance.
You said that there are contraindications for people receiving hyperbaric treatment. What is that?
They could have an implantable device, a pacemaker that wasn't rated to pressure. They could have an untreated pneumothorax. They could have a low blood sugar. There are a number of things that would stop someone from going inside a chamber.
Okay. Before a person can go into the chamber, does that medical clearance have to take place?
Yes.
Was Jeff the only person who did the medical clearances?
No.
Who else did?
Tammy also did.
Is Ms. Peterson a medical doctor to your knowledge?
She's not.
Did you ever see how those medical clearances were occurring?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
There was a Teams chat, and if there was a new patient, there would have to be a confirmation from Jeff or Tammy that that person had been cleared before they went inside the chamber.
The Teams chat, does it allow you to have more than one person or more than two people communicating in that group?
Yes.
Who all was in that group chat that you remember?
Sheila Bergen. Any of the hyperbaric technicians would have been in that chat. Tammy was in the chat. Different physicians, I believe, were also in the chat. I don't think they had the chat when Dr. Wagner was there, but in the later years there were.
Okay. Was Jeff in that chat?
Yes.
And you mentioned Dr. Wagner. Who was that?
He was the medical director when I started at the Oxford Center.
Was he the medical director at Troy as well, or just at the Brighton Center?
I don't know.
Okay. When you left in April of 24, was he still there?
No.
Had he been replaced?
Yes.
Do you remember who it was?
When I left, Dr. Suno-songs was there. Prior to that, Dr. Luis Maduro was there. Dr. Kieran, I'm not sure what her last name was. She was also there for a period of time.
Was there ever a time when you heard of a medical doctor being associated just with Troy?
No.
You talked about conversations that you had with Jeff. I'm going to direct your attention to questions about safety. Did you ever have any concerns about safety?
Yes.
Tell me what your concerns about safety were.
My primary concern was that we were not putting grounding straps on the patients that were going inside the hyperbaric chamber.
What is a grounding strap?
A grounding strap is a wrist strap the patient would wear during treatment.
What is it made of, if you know?
I don't know what the material is made of.
What's the purpose of a grounding strap?
It's to reduce the risk of fire due to static electricity.
What happens if there's static electricity inside of a hyperbaric?
Yeah, I'm gonna object whether she's qualified to give these answers or not.
I'll lay further foundation.
Okay.
Since 2003, have you been trained on hyperbarics?
Yes.
Have you been trained on how they are used?
Yes.
Are you trained on how to make them safe or keep them safe?
Yes.
Are you trained on how patients are designed, or are there things that patients can do in going into a hyperbaric to keep them safer?
Yes.
Have you
If you're trained on all of this, how do you not know the material of the grounding strap? This witness is a former employee of the Oxford facility where the 5-year-old was burnt alive in a hyperbaric chamber. And apparently she was trying to warn about safety issues.
received training about types of materials that are allowed inside of a hyperbaric?
Yes.
Have you been trained on things that should never be allowed inside of a hyperbaric?
Yes.
And are you trained on the procedure of how somebody would get into a hyperbaric?
Yes.
How long have you been had received those trainings?
19 years.
During those 19 years of training, were you made aware of grounding straps?
Yes.
And were you made aware of what the purpose of the grounding strap is?
Yes.
And what is the purpose?
Purpose is to reduce the risk of fire.
So if there was a fire in a hyperbaric, what would that mean?
In a monoplace chamber, it means death. In a multi-place chamber, it means you try to fight the fire.
As part of your training, are you taught about what to do if there is a fire in a hyperbaric monoplace?
Yes.
As part of your training, are you advised or do you learn about how these hyperbarics actually work?
Yes.
How do they work?
How do the chambers work?
Yeah.
Like mechanisms of action for the condition, or like how they're plumbed and piped? Or...
Those are all great questions. Let's talk about first, what do they do for somebody who is seeking treatment with a hyperbaric?
It depends on their condition. If they're coming in for a wound healing, it will help reduce edema, help grow new blood vessels, helps get rid of any anaerobic infections.
So it can speed the healing
Speeds up
process
the healing
along.
process, yes.
Okay. In terms of the machine itself, are you trained? I think you told us you received some additional training when you went to the Oxford Center on how to use these monoplace
Yes.
chambers. The mechanics of them, I'm not really interested in the mechanics, but what do you do as a tech who is operating one of these things?
You would set the pressure to the treatment depth that you're going to take the patient to.
Are these sometimes referred to as dives?
Yes.
Why?
It's based in diving medicine, Caisson's disease. It's where they first started. So we're using a lot of dive terms and dive terminology.
Dive like scuba dive?
Scuba dive, correct.
Okay. And so you set pressure. Pressure of what?
Pressure of the chamber, the atmospheric pressure inside the chamber. And then you set the rate to how fast you want them to get there. And then you would fill up the chamber with 100% oxygen and sort of set a timer for how long the treatment was to last. When that timer was up, you would depressurize the chamber.
So is it fair to say then it's not just simply throwing a switch and the pressure rises immediately?
That's true.
It takes some time to get to that whatever pressure you want it to be.
Yes.
And is that pressurized, that amount of pressure, is that decided by somebody else?
Yes.
And this, when you were working at the Oxford Center in Brighton, who made that decision?
Tammy.
And then the length of the dive, is that something that's determined by someone?
Yes.
Who is that determined by?
At the Oxford Center,
The Oxford Center in Brighton.
Tammy and Jeff, I would say.
Objection. I would say, does that mean that she knows or she's guessing?
Can I ask for some clarification, please?
Sure. Why do you say Tammy and Jeff?
because they're the safety director and the CEO.
Did you ever receive direction from Tammy about the depth and the length of time for a
Yes.
patient? Did you ever receive that same information from Jeff?
No.
In terms of the information that you received from Jeff, what would that be?
In what way?
I believe you initially said, when I asked the question about the amount of pressure, and how long a person would be in the hyperbaric for, you said Tammy and Jeff. But then when I asked you specifically if you ever received direction from Jeff, you said no. So what type of information would he provide you about the hyperbarics?
Whether the patient was cleared or not to go inside the chamber.
All right. You talked about grounding straps. When you worked at other locations, before and maybe even after the Oxford Center, were grounding straps used?
Yes.
Did you ever raise concerns of safety about grounding straps in the Oxford Center in Brighton?
Yes.
Who did you raise them with?
Tammy, Jeff.
Starting with Tammy, what did you say to her?
Why aren't we using grounding straps?
Why did you ask that question?
Because it's the chamber manufacturer's recommendations to use grounding straps, and it's a national fire code to use grounding straps.
Did you raise this issue of grounding straps with Tammy one time or more than one time?
More than one time.
Do you know how many times you raised it with her?
The exact number of times, I don't know.
More than 2?
Yeah.
More than 5?
I'm not sure.
Okay, certainly you said more than 2. More than 3?
Yes.
More than 4?
It's really hard to pin down the exact number, but there's several conversations.
The conversations that you had with Tammy, how would you have those conversations?
Mostly in person. Also, she was connected on emails and Teams chats. She would have been aware when I brought them up.
What did she say to you about why you didn't use grounding straps?
She saw them as a strangulation risk for some of the kiddos, afraid that they might wrap that strap around their necks inside the chamber by accident. She also had done some Jeff had done some independent testing to show in their mind they didn't need the grounding straps.
Did she cite to that independent testing by Jeff as a reason why you weren't using them?
Yes.
Did that satisfy the safety concern of not using grounding straps in your mind?
No.
Besides Ms. Peterson, did you raise the safety issue of grounding straps with anybody else?
Yes.
Who else did you raise it with?
Jeff.
When you raised it with Jeff, how would you raise that? Was it in person or some other way?
In person, on the phone. There's been an email and Teams chats.
You raised the issue of grounding straps and the lack of use in person,
Yes.
on the phone,
Yes.
through email,
Yes.
and through Teams chats.
Yes.
That's 4 separate ways. Do you know how many times you raised this issue with Jeff?
I don't know an exact number of times.
Did you say at least 4 times?
Yes.
And what did he say when you asked him about the lack of use of grounding straps?
He believed his independent testing sufficed to show there wasn't a need for it.
When you talked to him about his independent testing, did he give you any information about that testing?
I saw the video.
There was a video?
Yes.
And what did it show?
It showed him and another technician, Sam Manise, doing an experiment where Sam was on the stretcher with the grounding
Your
strap.
Honor, I would object to the characterization of it being an experiment. It was a test, not an experiment. That conveys, it imputes certain things, and I object to the use of that word.
I think that's argument. I think in her mind it was an experiment. She's allowed to testify as to what she saw. It goes to her state of mind, not to what Mr. Mosteller might have thought it was.
I'm going to overrule the objection and allow the specific language that was used to stand.
You were telling us about what you saw?
And Sam was laying on the stretcher, but it didn't have a sheet. The chamber is not pressurized. I think Jeff was using a voltmeter or some way to show that the patient or the Sam was grounded without a grounding, without being inside the chamber and on the strap. I don't know. It was not a great test in my opinion.
Let me stop you there. You said that this other technician was somebody named Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You said that there was no sheet.
There was no sheet on the stretcher he was laying on.
These hyperbarics, are they an acrylic chamber?
Yes.
And then is there a stretcher that pulls in and out?
Yes.
And does the patient lay on that stretcher to get in and out of the chamber?
Yes.
Sort of, in my mind at least, like an MRI machine?
Similar.
Okay. And are you able to see into the chamber to see what's happening inside of them?
Yes.
Now, you said that Sam did not have a sheet on the piece that pulls in and out, stretcher.
Yes.
What's the purpose of a sheet?
The sheet is another barrier on top of the stretcher between the patient and the equipment. It's more comfortable.
Do those sheets have to be made of any kind of specific material in order to be safe for a hyperbaric?
Yes.
What is that?
It should be 100% cotton in a monoplace chamber.
Why is that?
Synthetic materials will melt when they catch on fire, and water will not be able to penetrate through them. So the idea is the cotton will burn up, and it has less static conductivity.
Is it fair to say then that polyester blends or any material that's less than 100% cotton should not go into hyperbaric?
Cotton blends, like 50% cotton blends, can go into multi-place chambers. Generally, monoplace chambers are 100% cotton.
You said that, what was Sam doing in the chamber?
He was laying on the stretcher.
Was he laying still?
Yes.
You said that the chamber wasn't pressurized. What does that mean?
The stretcher was outside of the acrylic chamber. The door was not closed. There's not increased atmospheric pressure around Sam. It was outside of the chamber.
Would the chamber have been on?
No. It may have been powered on, but it wasn't pressurized.
When they're pressurized, is that when the 100% oxygen comes into the chamber?
Yes,
So fair to say then that wasn't happening at the time that Sam is laying on this stretcher.
that's true.
And you're indicating that Sam was not even inside the chamber. He was literally outside on the stretcher.
Yes.
When you watched this video, did it alleviate your concerns about lack of grounding?
No.
Why not?
Because the National Fire Code and the chamber manufacturer's recommendations are gonna be more relevant than an independent test.
At this time, were you teaching on safety of hyperbarics?
Yes.
Were you teaching on other things as well?
Yes.
When you would teach others about these safety trainings, would you teach about grounding straps?
Yes.
What would you teach about grounding straps?
They are required for non-police operations.
When you are teaching these safety classes or courses, are you doing it on your own, or are you doing it because you're an employee of the Oxford Center Brighton?
Because I was an employee. I was also teaching courses prior to the Oxford Center on the same subjects, just through Oxy Hill University.
The material that you were teaching in regards to hyperbarics and safety, did you put that material together?
No.
Who did?
Jeff, Tammy. I did help with some of the material, but
So in the trainings, you're taught to use the grounding straps, yes?
yes,
But at the Brighton Center, you were not using them.
correct.
Besides the issue of the grounding straps, were there other safety concerns that you raised?
Yes.
Like what?
The lack of physician supervision.
In terms of, we're going to take these one at a time. In terms of the lack of supervision by a physician, what was your concern?
Prior to the Oxford Center, there is always a physician on site available within 5 minutes when someone was inside the chamber.
Was that occurring at the Oxford Center in Brighton?
Not 100% of the time.
Who did you raise the issue of lack of supervision by a physician to?
I can't say someone specifically, just in general, it made me uneasy.
So are you saying today that you never raised it to anyone?
I can't say for sure.
Okay.
I mean, she's very evasive at times and very specific at times. The credibility here is not top notch, in my opinion. And that's kind of worrisome. That's kind of worrisome. If this is the person they are relying on, that they broke rules and stuff. Because this is during direct examination. And she might be verbally murdered during cross-examination. Yeah, and as Turnip say, this isn't the first time someone has died. No, I mean, if you search by hyperbaric chamber explosions and hyperbaric chamber deaths, there's a decent amount of people who have died in these. Yeah, I agree with Dave here. She seems to answer all the questions fairly promptly, and when asked about who she raised it. So maybe all of this was an internal dialogue of her. Why aren't we doing more? Why aren't we doing this? But she never actually told anybody. Because during cross-examination, they are going to ask her about specific times. I assume they will. Okay, when did you talk to Tammy about this? I don't know. But let's continue. Let's see. We have an additional 20 minutes or so. Now, there is a part 2 of this, but I'm going to go through that probably Wednesday, because tomorrow there's a hearing regarding Tamila and an alleged bond violation. Hopefully that will be live streamed.
Besides the lack of a physician, well, let me ask you this: was there always a physician available within 5 minutes at the Oxford Center?
No.
Were there any other safety issues that you were aware of that you were concerned about?
I was concerned about the patient education.
What about patient education were you concerned about?
It was general practice at other facilities that you sat down with a patient before they started treatment and gave them an informed consent. You went over all of the benefits and all the risks and what they were to expect. And at the Oxford Center, you literally got maybe 5 minutes before you put someone in the chamber to give them the rundown.
Objection. Again, this reference to the Oxford Center. Are we talking Brighton, Troy, both? And if we are talking about Troy, what is her foundation for that?
Sure, that's appropriate. I need to have some additional information to lay the foundation.
Sure. You had these concerns about which facility?
Both,
Why for both?
because they had the same practices at both. The same.
Objection. What's her foundation for that? Has she ever seen patient intake at Troy?
I'm going to ask that she provide some additional information.
Sure. Have you been to the Troy facility?
Yes,
And did you ever see intake at the Troy facility?
No.
Did you ever see anybody use a hyperbaric at the Troy facility?
yes.
How many times did you see that?
Maybe 3 times.
During the course of how long?
I worked for the Oxford Center for 4 years.
Was there anybody specific at the Troy Center that you were working with when you were there?
Yeah.
Was he there all 3 times?
Yes.
What you observed at the Oxford Center in Troy in terms of policies and procedures, did it appear to you to be the same or different?
Same
What made you say that?
safety director.
When you went to Troy in terms of how patients are treated at Troy, was it the same or different than what you saw in Brighton?
The same.
In terms of patient education, you indicated, let me ask you this, the patient education piece, would that have been only in Brighton?
Yes.
And what was your belief about the way that it operated in Brighton?
There wasn't enough time taken to give them a thorough, informed consent.
Are there potential hazards or risks in using a hyperbaric?
Yes.
Like what?
Fire, oxygen toxicity, hypoglycemia.
Okay, fire is an easy one, right? What is oxygen toxicity?
It's like an overdose of oxygen.
Is that something that can kill a person?
Potentially could.
Are you trained on how to treat that if you have that happen?
Yes.
Are there other risks besides fire and oxygen toxicity?
Yes.
What else?
Barrel trauma.
I'm sorry, one more time.
Barrel trauma.
Barrel?
Barrel, it's like trauma caused by pressure, which could be overinflating the lungs, could be a middle ear squeeze, a tooth squeeze.
When you're in a hyperbaric, does it cause your body to come under a significant amount of pressure?
Yes.
And these are things that could happen as a consequence.
Yes.
To your knowledge, at least in Brighton, did they have consent forms to treat?
Yes.
Did this information make it onto those forms, if you know?
I don't know.
Did you ever raise this issue of informed consent with anyone?
No.
Were there any other safety concerns?
Yes.
Like what?
Infection control.
Infection control?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
There's just general precautions like hand washing, also just wiping down the equipment after treatments, the types of cleaners that they were using in the Brighton location.
Do you know if the same products were used in the Troy location?
I don't know.
What were your concerns with the infection control around wiping down between?
It was not general practice to wipe down the stretchers in between patients. We would strip the linens and replace that patient's sheet with a new patient sheet.
In terms of cleaning and wiping down, what was supposed to happen?
I would have wiped down the stretcher in between patients.
I would object. The question is what was supposed to happen, not what she did. And what is she relying on when she's testifying to some standard that she isn't really testifying to?
Sure.
Thank you.
What was supposed to happen?
Supposed to wipe down the stretchers in between patients.
And was that happening?
No.
Besides the cleaning standards, were there any other concerns? Can you talk to me about staff to patient ratio?
Objection. Your Honor, this is going to be significantly different between the two facilities, and whatever the staff to patient ratio is in Brighton is completely irrelevant to the issue that's before the court today.
Okay. Did you want to respond?
Sure. I think we've identified that there are a number of safety concerns that she had that were just regularly and routinely ignored. I think she should be allowed to talk about all those safety concerns that she had and who she raised them with, if she did.
She just answered she didn't have any other safety concerns. I think that's what I just heard. She said, I have no other safety concerns.
I think this is the last one that she was addressing.
What is the new one?
I believe so, staff to patient ratio,
Oh, okay.
and nothing beyond that. But I would like to have a foundation laid as to whether or not there was a formal procedure or policy on staff to patient ratio, which is a separate question from what she observed. And she needs to clarify if it's based on something that she saw or had knowledge of in Brighton or Troy, and if Troy, how.
Okay.
So I think more foundation
Sure.
needs to be laid rather than just having a general conversation about staff to patient ratio
Okay.
before I can determine if it's relevant.
Right, just so the record is clear, the witness did not raise the issue of patient to staff ratio. She was directly asked that by Ms. Hagman Clark. Her answer, Mr. Flood is correct, is that she had no additional concerns.
Thank you. Okay.
In which case, the objection would be leading the witness as well.
I didn't suggest an answer. I simply asked her about staff to patient ratio, which is not a leading question.
It was then followed up with other concerns by the government.
Okay. So I do want to be clear that we are not asking a leading question if she's already indicated other concerns.
Okay. So can I ask her about whether, strike that, I'll ask me a question.
Okay.
Was there a policy about how many staff had to be available for patients related to the hyperbarics?
Please specify the location.
I think I've made it pretty clear through
In
this one.
general, I think it's appropriate to ask the question, and depending on her answer, any other testimony that she provides would have to specify.
The guideline is to have one staff member per 2 patients if you're going by the UHMS standards. At the Oxford Center, there were,
In Brighton or in Troy or in both?
at the Brighton location, there's generally 2 staff members per 8 patients. but it wouldn't be unheard of for one staff member to cover 7 chambers, 6 to 7 chambers.
How many chambers were there in the Brighton location?
There were 8. Initially, there were 5, and 3 were added while I was there.
Do you know how many chambers were in Troy?
There were 3 chambers in Troy.
When you were in Troy on those 3 occasions, did you ever make observations of the number of staff to patients?
There were generally 1 staff member for the 3 chambers. In the Brighton location, you could also see the Troy location on the video.
How were you able to see that?
Chamber room.
I'm sorry, in the chamber room? Is that a yes?
Yes,
I'm sorry, in the chamber room, you said that there's videos.
yes,
Are there monitors then to be able to see things?
yes.
Describe that for me if you would.
Be a large monitor in the hyperbaric suite that would show around the building the different camera angles.
Those camera angles, would they be for cameras in the Brighton location?
Yes,
And you said you could also see the Troy location.
yes,
Could you see into the I think you called them a suite, hyperbaric suite?
yes,
Could you see into the Troy hyperbaric suite
yes,
from the Brighton location?
yes.
Would those cameras or those monitors be on all day so you can see what's going on?
Yes.
When somebody is preparing to take a dive, is there a process that you have been trained on to use before that person goes into the chamber?
Yes.
How did you receive that training?
Through the introductory hyperbaric course, through continuing education credits, webinars, conferences.
Has that process of getting ready to take a dive changed over the years, or has it remained the same?
There's been additional technology that's come out since the beginning, so there's been additional training, but the general safety questions haven't changed very much.
When a person is getting ready to dive, what do you have to do as the tech to get them ready?
Make sure that they're changed into appropriate clothing,
What about the clothing needs to be appropriate?
cotton or cotton blend in a multi-place chamber, cotton in a monoplace chamber. You ensure they don't have any alcohol or Vaseline products on them. You ensure they don't have any recent dental work, no hearing aids, no hand warmers, no changes in their medications. Basically going over like risk factors to be sure that they don't have anything in their pockets, that they're safe for operation.
Would the process be the same if the person was 5 years old versus somebody who's 55?
And you wouldn't depend on a 5-year-old to give you the answer to all those questions. You would probably rely on their primary caregiver.
And did this safety checklist of all these different things, dental, hearing aids, everything we've talked about, does that happen every single time?
Yes.
In your work at the Brighton Center, did the safety checklist happen every time that you're aware of?
No,
What about at the Troy facility?
I don't know.
Is this safety checklist required?
Yes.
Who is it required by?
By the standards like UHMS, by the, I don't know if the chamber manufacturer and says it, blatantly, but it's just general practice.
How did you come to leave the Brighton Center?
I was fired.
What happened?
After challenging some of the safety measures and telling human resources I was uneasy about being in the hyperbaric suite with the practices. I was told that my research salary could no longer be supported if I couldn't supplement my time.
Okay, let me stop you there.
Area.
Let me stop you there. You said that you had a conversation with somebody, is that right?
Yes.
This final conversation, who is this conversation with?
I had a conversation with Tammy and Gary.
Where did it take place at?
In Tammy's office.
At the Brighton Center?
Yes.
Do you remember what day or month it was?
I believe it was in April of 24.
Before you had this conversation with Tammy and Gary, I think you told us that you talked to HR.
Yeah.
What was your purpose in talking to HR?
Wanting to express my concerns about the safety protocols and just to let her know I was uneasy and uncomfortable being in the hyperbaric suite.
After you had this conversation with HR, how soon did you then have the conversation with Ms. Peterson and Mr. Markin?
Within days.
Did you initiate that conversation?
No.
How did the conversation come to be?
I was asked to come to Tammy's office.
Who asked you?
Tammy.
Were you working that day?
Yes.
Okay, so just come on down and we can talk to you, something along those lines?
Yeah. Or can I take that back? I believe Gary asked me to come down to Tammy's office.
I would object to the speculation, Judge. It's a little equivocal to the belief as opposed to Gary. She first says Tammy, and now she wants to change it up. She doesn't know.
Do you know?
I recall Gary asking me to come to Tammy's office.
Fair enough, Judge.
Thank you. What happens when you get into Tammy's office?
I was asked about my concerns.
Who asked about your concerns?
Tammy.
And what did you tell her?
I tried to defend my position on the grounding straps. I was quoting the NFPA and the chamber manufacturer recommendations. I was told that I was uneducated and ill-informed.
Who told you you were uneducated and ill-informed?
Tammy told me that.
What did you say to that?
I was not allowed to say. I don't believe that's true.
What happened then?
I basically was told that, I was dismissed, and through email, I was told that I had no shifts were available for me. And maybe a week later, I was let go.
When you were officially let go, who let go? Like, who did that? Who was the person you talked to?
Tammy.
Was there a reason given for why you were let go?
She said she couldn't support my research salary if I was not able to supplement my time in the hyperbaric suite.
Had there come a point in time when you refused to work in the hyperbarics?
I didn't refuse, I said I was uncomfortable.
Was that during the same conversation that you told us about with Ms. Peterson and Mr. Markin in her office?
Yes.
After April of 2024, did you work there anymore?
No.
Was it a pleasant separation?
No.
Tell me about that.
I was gutted, to be honest. I love the people there. I love their mission. I foresaw myself being there a long time. So it was hard for me to leave, but it wasn't on bad terms. I mean, we sent thoughts and prayers to each other. Tammy, bless you. Tammy was willing to give me a good recommendation when I left. I maintained correspondence with both Jeff and Tammy after I was gone.
Yeah.
You said
Yeah, that, as Judy said, defense may claim a testimony is retaliation. Yeah, that would be a good argument for the defense. A very good argument. Yes, Gwendolyn, she is giving background. The state is using her to give background about that this practice of this facility and the owners and the owner is taking shortcuts.
that you received a good recommendation from Tammy. Is that right?
She offered a good recommendation. I did not use it.
Was it conditional?
I was warned that if I spoke negatively about the Oxford Center, that it would be taken seriously.
What did you take that to mean?
To me, that meant don't talk bad about them or their practices.
Did you adhere to that warning?
Yes.
May I have just one moment? In that last meeting, you talked about in Tammy's office, you said that Gary was there too.
Yes.
Tammy is the one who said what she did about being uninformed or ill-informed, something along those lines.
Yes.
Did Gary have anything to say to you about that too?
Gary backed up her notion that the grounding straps were not required. He believed that since the chambers were grounded, that the patients didn't have to be grounded to the chamber.
Thank you.
All right.
Sure. Let's have a short recess here. Everyone has enough time just to step out for a moment, come back in, and then.
All right. This is now there is a part 2 to this. There is a part 2. But I don't have the time for it. I do not have the time for it. Because it is closing in on 1:30 a.m. I should have started this earlier, but I was asleep. So we will continue this Wednesday, because tomorrow apparently there's a hearing on regarding alleged bond violation of Tamala, which I am going to live stream if it is live stream, if there is a camera in the courtroom. Okay, folks, so that was Tiffany going on about for the state about practices that she objected to or tried to object to. So, and we will listen to cross-examinations on Wednesday. But tomorrow, bond hearing regarding Tamala's alleged bond violations. All right, folks. Now, sorry for the beginning of this, but apparently StreamYard is acting up. So I switched to Rumble Studios. I like Rumble Studios, but that will also mean that I cannot what do you call it? I can't set it up on YouTube. It just starts. But I will try to start, well, tomorrow. I saw somebody sent it to me, 2:30 p.m. Michigan time. So I will start around then, if I can find the live stream. But folks, everybody, thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing me to do this. And hit the thumbs up, hit the everything, hit the subscribe. Check if you're still subscribed. And I will see you all back here tomorrow around 2:30 p.m. with more about the hyperbaric chamber explosion case. All right. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.